Let's put things in perspective.
Yeah.
You became the CEO of New Jersey Resources, a major natural gas energy company. We continue to do a leadership academy at New Jersey Resources. Larry opened that door, and the great team there has facilitated it since Larry has stepped down as the CEO. Steve Westover, the CEO there right now. Let me ask you this, Larry. You were a very, very young man when you became the CEO, younger than 40, if I'm not mistaken.
37 to be exact, 37 and a half. Yes. So.
Okay. Were you the CFO before that?
I was the CFO. I joined the company in 1985. So I had, almost a 35-year career there. And the first 10 years were spent on the financial side. I became CFO in 1990. And at the time, finance was my passion. It still is today. But I did that role for about 5 years before I became CEO.
It's very rare, and because the executive coaching we do and leadership development, it's very rare. And I work with a fair number of clients at our company, Stand and Deliver. Look at our website, you'll see the work we do. It's very rare that a CFO moves to becoming the CEO. A, how difficult was the transition? B, let's talk about why you had to move from being largely a numbers leader to a strategical, tactical, practical, innovative. Worlds apart, the jobs?
Worlds apart, but your initial point is right on, because in my role as CFO, now remember that's more than 25 years ago now, and the world was a very different place, and finance was, quite frankly, a different place from where we are today. But my experience had been, numbers, investor relations, all of that. And when I became CEO, and it was on, it's a long story that's interesting to probably only me, but there wasn't a long period of time to get ready for it. I became CEO of our main subsidiary on March 8th, 1995, and 4 days later, our CEO at the time retired. He resigned for another position, and I ended up with the job. So great story now, scary at the time.
How scary?
Well, remember, the financial background is you're used to seeing the world through numbers and plans and budgets and investors and all of that. And I realized very quickly that was a very narrow slice of the world. And so I immediately went out spending time in the field, talking on the phones with our CSRs and our meter readers.
Customer service reps?
Customer service reps, sorry about that. And realized pretty quickly that there was so much more to the business than just the numbers. In fact, those numbers were meaningless without the actual understanding of what our employees, our team were doing out there. In fact, I developed an insight on leadership that, quite frankly, I carry to this day. And it said everyone is a leader. It's not just the people, at the top, but everyone in an organization to be successful as a leader.
This edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba is brought to you by Valley Bank, the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, New Jersey Sharing Network, Prager Metis, the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA, and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ, and Commerce Magazine.